My name is Jesse Plume. I'm a student, an MPA student at Monterey Institute of International Studies.
Could you please tell me why cash flow management is significant for the financial management of a non-profit organization?
Cash flow management is completely necessary to know how much money you could spend, not just in the short term, but in the long term. It's important to have high amounts of liquidities to keep programs going. It's important to have a low amount of solvency or high amount of solvency. You want to have as many assets as you have liabilities, or more if possible. But moreover than just the cash flow management issue, the cash flow reports and whatnot, that part of financial management contributes to a climate of financial knowledge in any organization. I mean, what good are reports and management if no one's going to pay attention to it? So cash flow management is something that both creates almost a climate in the office, a culture of financial awareness, which I think is very important, and that works in both ways. Financial management cultivates this culture, and this culture in turn aids in creating better management issues, financial management practices.
My other question would be, is it important for all the employees in a non-profit organization to know about the cash flow management?
Not all employees know. In fact, I think it might hamper. If everyone knows, it might hamper some sort of morale. Might be some psychological issues. Of course, that's hard to quantify. But it's very important for project managers to know what other people are doing, just to know how much funds are available in a general fund. Administrators, especially the directors, everyone on the board needs to know. And I think everyone above, volunteers, secretaries, this sort of level of management definitely needs to be aware, needs to know these things. Anyone that's spending cash.
Mm-hmm. What's your personal experience with the cash flow management if you have worked before with a non-profit organization?
Yeah, I did some consulting for Barrios Unidos, an anti-gang group in Santa Cruz, and they've had horrible cash management practices. They don't have a full-time accountant anyway. They don't have any sort of reports. But moreover than that, they didn't pay attention to the reports. They're very much goal-driven, as NGOs tend to be. And so even though they may have cash reports, they weren't very good. And no one was paying attention to them. And at this point right now, they're over $1 million in debt, or $1.3 million in debt. And then if that adds up, I mean, it added up to $1.3 million over the last decade. And this is because of faulty cash management practices and the inattention to cash management.
Do you think that the main reason that they didn't pay attention to cash management was the lack of the capacity or lack of knowledge about cash flow management?
I think it might have been, it's a little bit of both. I think because the accountant they did have working for them for a little while part-time was very old. He pretty much did the numbers, but at the same time too, they didn't really pay attention to it, lack of knowledge of it, about the importance of cash flow reports in this. And being a community-building organization, they're very goal-focused, so they spend money not knowing the long-term effects of what they're actually spending, what it means to have a low amount of liquidity and having to rely on each check, like falling backwards in each check to pay your expenses. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.